Well, this is the tutorial for adding and subtracting fractions. It's probably been a while since you've added and subtracted fractions and you might have forgotten how to do it, so it's really important that we brush off those cobwebs and remember how to do this correctly because you will need to know this. So go ahead and get your tutorial ready, and we are going to be doing 3 we do problems and then 3 you do problems. So this tutorial might be a little longer than some of them tend to be. All right, so let's go ahead and write these steps down into your note. These are really kind of condensed down steps, but I think that you're at the point you can handle these steps pretty well. So number 1, if the denominators are different, find the LCD, the lowest common denominator. So the lowest common multiple of the 2 denominators. Step 2, bully the denominators and their best friends to keep them equivalent. Step 3, add or subtract the numerators, depending on what it says to do, add or subtract. Then convert if you need to, reduce if you need to. Remember, when you're adding and subtracting fractions, it says just the numerators get added, subtracted. Those denominators, once you have them the same, they stay the same. So let's go ahead and do our first we do. And make sure you do have these steps on your tutorial page. And then we'll do the we do. First one is 1/4 plus 2/8. Okay. If your denominators are different, and they are, if they were the same, I wouldn't have to do this step. I could skip this step and go straight down to this one. So, but they are different. 4 is not the same number as 8. So what I need to do is get them to be the same. So it's like having 1/4 of a pizza, and I'm adding it to 2/8 of a pizza. And I want to know how much pizza I'm going to have, but they're cut up differently, so I would like to know how much total pizza I have. So, step 1, get the denominators the same. So these are not, so find the LCD. Remember we used broken ladder to find LCM, so we're going to use that again. Oopsie, that's meant to be a 4. Okay, so I take the denominator 4 and the denominator 8. And I'm going to ask myself, what number can divide evenly into both 4 and 8? Sort of like all those reducing skills we've been using all along. A number that can divide evenly into 4 and 8. 4. 4 goes into both of them. So I'll divide 4 into both of them. 4 fits into 4 once. 4 fits into 8 twice. By the way, what we kind of did was use distributive property by pulling out common divisors. So that's partially distributive property. All right, so then I check the next row. Is there a number that can go into both 1 and 2 other than 1? No, there's not. So I multiply the L. If I multiply the common divisor along with what's left, that will tell me the LCM of those numbers. So I get 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So the denominator that I need both of these fractions to be is an 8. And how do I get this 4 to become an 8? I would multiply him by 2. And this is the step I'm talking about with bully the denominators. I bully the denominator with a 2 bat, and make sure that you beat up his best friend with a 2 bat also, because, you know, they're best friends. So 1 times 2 is 2. Now this guy, he's already 8. I can just let him pass. I can be nice to him. He's already an 8, and so is his best friend is fine too. Since I let him pass, I'll let his best friend pass as well. Now that I've done that, and I have common denominators, but I've kept equivalent fractions, I add, in this case it's add because this was addition, add the numerators. So 2 plus 2 is 4. The denominator stays the same. And then I convert if I need to. That means if it's improper fraction, an upside down snowman, I do bottom and deduct. The remainder is the numerator. But this is not. This is smaller number than the bigger number, so this is fine. Reduce if I need to. Well, this can be reduced because there's a number that goes into both 4 and 8. 4 goes into both 4 and 8. 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 goes into 8 twice. And that's in its reduced form. So my answer is 1/2. Okay, so let's try we do number 2. This is like saying if I had 3/4 of a pizza left, and I ate another 1/3 of it, then how much would I have left? So I ate 1/3 of it, how much would I have left? So we'll figure out how much that would be. Step 1, says to, if your denominators are different, find the LCD, the lowest common denominator. Well, 4 is different than 3, so I do need to find the LCM between the two denominators. So I'm going to go ahead and put those two on the line of the broken ladder to find the LCM. And I'm going to look for a number that divides evenly into both of those. And other than 1, there isn't one. So when that happens, you just multiply the nothing on the side with what's left over, the 4 and 3, and that's 12. And this LCM gives us the answer to what our shared denominator is going to be, because it's the lowest number that both 4 and 3 will meet at. All right, I'm on the bully step. I'm going to bully those denominators and their friends. What do I beat a 4 up with in order to get him to become a 12? I beat him up with a 3. And I have to do the same thing to his best friend to keep this fraction equivalent. So 3 times 3 is 9. Over here, what did I do to 3 to get him to become a 12? I beat him up with a 4. And I have to do the same to his best friend to keep this all equivalent. Now I have two fractions with the same denominator, so they've been cut up the same way. And I can go ahead and subtract, in this case it's subtract the numerators. 9 subtract 4 is 5. And your denominator stays the same because your pizza is all cut the same way, so it still stays a 12. Final step, convert if you need to. No, this snowman is right side up, he's fine, that's a proper fraction. Reduce if I need to. No, there's not a number that divides evenly into both 5 and 12. So then that's my final answer. I'll have 5/12 of the pizza is what will be left. Okay, and this is the final we do. I wanted to throw this one in here because this has mixed numbers. And you might think, oh, I'll do this the way I multiply fractions. I'll change it, I'll convert it into an improper fraction, change it all to fractions so I can work with it. And you can do that, but you're going to end up with some kind of gigantic numbers. And with addition and subtraction of mixed numbers, you really don't have to do that. You can get away with not doing that because we can go ahead and take care of the fractions first because we're talking about whole pizzas, so we can do these later. You can't do that with multiply and just set those aside and do them afterwards. And you can't do that with divide, but you can with add and subtract, so that's kind of nice. So let's just take care of the fractions first. Let's just focus on those little guys. 1/4 minus 1/8. Let's look at those first. We're going to, if the denominators are different, we're going to find the LCD. Well, they are different, so we'll put them both on the broken ladder. 4 divides evenly into both of them, once there and twice there. Then I'm stuck, so multiply your L. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So what I want for my little fractions here is that I want my denominator to become an 8. What do I do to a 4 to get him to become an 8? I multiply him by 2. Keep that fraction equivalent by doing the same thing. This is step 2. Do the same thing to his best friend. 1 times 2 is 2. This guy is an 8 already. I do not have to beat him up, so I don't have to do anything to his best friend either. Now I'm on the third step, add or subtract numerators. 2 subtract 1 is 1, and 8 is the denominator, so he stays the denominator. Now that was just taking into consideration my fractions, but I still had 3 whole pizzas, and I'm taking 1 whole pizza away, so it leaves me with 2 and 1/8. So you can deal with the fractions separate from the whole numbers when you're talking about addition and subtraction of fractions and mixed numbers. You can't do that with multiply divide, but you can do that with add subtract. Okay, so let's try our first you-do. We're doing 3 you-dos. So you-do number 1 is 2/5 plus 4/15. Go ahead and give this one a try. Push pause, push play when you have an answer. Okay, so you have some sort of an answer. Let's go through the steps. If the denominators are different, find the LCM. Well, these are different, so I'm going to put them both on the ladder. A number that divides evenly into both of those is a 5. 5 fits into 5 once, and 5 fits into 15 3 times. There isn't anything that goes into both 1 and 3 other than 1, so I'm stuck. 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 3 is 15. So the denominator I need to have is 15, because both of these numbers will fit evenly into 15, and that's the whole purpose of this, is to find a number that, the lowest number that both of them will fit into. That's my goal. All right, so now I'm on step 2, be the bully. What do I do to 5 to get him to become 15? I beat him up with a 3, And in order to keep his fraction equivalent, I must do the same thing to his best friend. So 2 times 3 is 6. What do I do with a 15? Well, nothing really. I mean, I beat him up with a 1. Okay, so I beat his best friend up with a 1, fine. Step 3, add the numerators because it's addition. 6 plus 4 is 10. The denominator stays the same. And then finally, the last step, convert if I need to. That's a proper fraction. The smaller number is above the bigger number, so we're okay. That's a proper snowman. Reduce if you need to. We do need to because 5 goes into both of these numbers. 5 fits into 10 twice, and 5 fits into 15 3 times. So my final answer should be 2/3. 2/3 was the correct answer. Hopefully you had that. Okay, here's you do number 2. Go ahead and try this one. Push pause until you have the answer. Push play when you're ready to begin. Okay, let's see if you got it right. I need to, if the denominators are different, and they are, I need to find the LCD. So I use the broken ladder to do that. Put 9 and 5 on the line. Actually, there is nothing that goes into both 9 and 5 evenly other than 1, so I'm just stuck with multiplying those. 9 times 5, 45. Okay, no problem. 45 then. What do I do to a 9 to get him to become a 45? I multiply him by a 5, and if I did that to him, I must do that to his best friend. What did I do to a 5 to get him to a 45? I multiplied him by a 9, and if I did that to him, I must do that to his best friend. 30 subtract 9 is 21. The denominator stays the same. Step 3, convert if you need to. No, that number's smaller than that one, so my snowman is fine. It's a proper fraction. Reduce if you need to. You know what? I think I do, because I know that 3 goes evenly into that, and 4 plus 5 is 9. 3 goes into 9, so 3 goes evenly into that. So 3 divides evenly into both of those, so it is reducible. 3 goes into 21 7 times, and 3 goes into 45. I'm not really sure exactly how many, so let me do the little shortcut. Little waffle bite. No, don't stick that whole waffle in your mouth. 3 into 15, 5 times, so 15 times. And that's as low as it can go. It is reduced to its lowest form, so 7/15 should have been the answer you got there. I hope you got that. And the third and final you do for this tutorial, 5 3/4 plus 1 2/6. Remember, you don't have to change them all the fractions here. You can go ahead and just do the fractions first and then add the mixed numbers in. So go ahead and do this one and push play when you're ready to begin. Okay, so you have an answer. Let's see how you did. We're just going to do the fractions, add the fractions together first. And I need to get a common denominator, so I do the LCD. These are not the same, so I just need to get them the same, that's all. A number that goes into both of those is 2. 2 fits into 4 twice and into 6 3 times. Multiply the L because I'm stuck at 2 and 3. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So 12 is the lowest number that both 4 and 6 will meet at. And what do I do to 4? I'm on step 2, bully. 4 to get him a 12 times 3, and do the same to his best friend. What do I do to 6 to get him to a 12 times 2, and do the same to his best friend? All right, step 3, add the numerators. 9 plus 4 is 13. And the denominator stays the same. It was a 12, it stays a 12. Convert if I need to. I do. This is an upside down snowman. This number is bigger than this number. So bottom into top. Remainder is the numerator. You probably could even just look at that without having to do this and see what it's going to be. Once with 1 left over. So the fractions add together to be 1 and 1/12. But we aren't done yet. Don't forget about these guys. I have 5 whole pizzas, 1 whole pizza, and then 1 whole more pizza. So that's 5, 6, 7. Just make that a 7 there. And 1/12. 7 and 1/12 should have been your answer on that. If this is making good sense to you, go ahead and do the extra problems on your tutorial worksheet. If you're still a little bit shady on this, you're a little bit confused, come see me so I can help you a little bit more.